All right, well, this is the Thursday, March 27th, Legislative Committee meeting for the SBCC. We'll call it to order now. We'll start with a roll call.
Committee Chair Tom Handy,
Here.
Council Chair Todd Byerther,
Here.
Council Vice Chair Jay Arnold. Not seeing them in the room here today. MVP Committee Chair Damon Doyle. Not seeing them in the room. BFRW Committee Chair Roger Haringa. Not seeing in the room. Council Member Chell Anderson.
Present.
Thank you. Council Member Matthew Hepner. Not seen in the room. And Council Ex Officio Member Representative Alex Rammel. And I don't see them in the room either. So we're one seat shy of a quorum today and can't conduct any official motions.
Okay. Well, why don't we, if anybody's got anything they want to bring forward to chat about quick, that would be appropriate. I guess you can, there's not very many of us here. You can just unmute and start. Yeah, maybe we better take numbers. Gosh.
Yep. Well, seeing no hands,
Yeah.
I'll just jump right into the update that I had prepped for today. So we met on Tuesday to discuss some testimony delivering for Senate Bill 5055, which is related to agritourism and some exemptions from permitting. And then also on Senate Bill 5552, which is concerning building standards for kit homes. And so we testified yesterday for those two bills and also provided some language suggestions to the sponsors of both of those bills. For the agritourism one, the suggestion we provided was to include the word incidental when we're talking about agritourism activities in certain buildings. And the thought was that the inclusion of that word would help preserve the agricultural nature of the building and discourage modifications that might align the building with a different occupancy or use as a primary nature. And then for the Kit Homes bill, we provided some language on that one to suggest inclusion with the 2024 codes instead of having rulemaking done by December 31st of 2025 with the December 31st deadline. The take was that the rulemaking needed to occur in the 2021 codes. We are compressed on time and struggling to meet that timeline as it is without additional work. And so we suggested, inclusion with the 2024 codes to allow some off-cycle stuff to happen in 2026, but to also align with the implementation date of November 1 of 2026 with the rest of the 2024 codes. I think that is semi well received. I haven't received a bunch of feedback on that one. But I did see some other stuff. They were looking to potentially include the specific standards for kit homes that we had identified have been adopted by some other jurisdictions around the country. And the feedback I gave to the sponsor on that bill was that including the specific standards wouldn't necessarily be a horrible thing, but in the spirit of keeping our process limber and not, bogging us down with specific requirements to allow the council to decide the specific standards adopted for kit homes, should that bill pass. And I did not hear any feedback from them beyond that. And so looking forward to next week, we have the hearings and executive session schedule out. Both of the bills that we testified on yesterday are going to executive session. If you'll notice on there, I guess, I'm still sharing screen. Let me bring over the sheet I'm reading from. You'll notice on here that both the bills we testified on are listed for two separate dates. It's not a mistake that they are on there for two dates. It's just there in case at the first meeting they don't get to it. So it's already on the meeting for the second date. So those are both going to executive session. There's not much for us to do, to sign in and, have input. If there's modifications made to those that we would like to have input on, it would be time to write a letter, to the sponsor to see if we can get any more change out of that if we needed to do that. Furthermore, talking about the schedule for the session as a whole, the end of the day on Wednesday, April 2nd, is the opposite house policy cutoff. And that means that all bills must be out of the opposite house, being the House bills that are now at the Senate and Senate bills that are now at the House must be out of those policy committees by the end of the day on Wednesday, April 2nd. The following Tuesday on April 8th is the opposite House Fiscal and Transportation Committee cutoff. And that means that all bills must be out of the opposite House Fiscal and Transportation Committees by the end of the day on Tuesday, April 8th. And so there could be more bills added to the schedule before those cutoffs. We'll keep an eye out for it for you guys on that one. And if there's anything on our high priority bills or anything that we provided recent testimony on that come up, we will send out a message to the group here and keep everybody in the know. And that is all I have for our quick legislative update.
Yeah, Todd?
Thank you. I think on regarding 552, it's a positive direction. I think if we get asked, we can still inform that in my opinion, it leaves 3 different pathways open. So we obviously talked about it could go into off-cycle rulemaking if it's after December 1st. But I think it also doesn't preclude that someone could submit a petition to IRC and try to get some of this actually in this cycle here. So, and I guess what I'm saying is I've received very positive feedback from the industry and the trade associations and so forth that they would be willing to do in ICC, that they'd be willing to do some legwork to help us on this. So anyway, just informing it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Todd.
Does anybody else have anything they'd like to bring forward? Or talk about? Get off your shoulders, whatever the case. All right. Well, thanks for testifying on those things, Tess, and I did watch and seemed to go over pretty well, so.
Going good. A few questions, and it's not my first testimony now, and so I was feeling a little more at home doing that action. So thank you for the kudos, and I will continue to be available to do that should nobody else be available.
Very good. Well, unless anybody else has anything, we can probably adjourn. Get back to watching the other meeting or carrying on with your ordinary life.
Extraordinary, everybody.
There you go. All right, real good. Well, thanks, everybody. We'll stand adjourned.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thanks.
Where's my get out of here button?
In a second, I'm going to stop the recording. I'll kick everybody anyway.
All right, see ya.
Bye.